Welcome back to the Sunday Pulse. We are actually halfway done with the show. We just talked about GSL in Korea and everything with WCS Europe from the qualifiers to the NASL stream. Definitely check it on Bob, youtube.com/NA Star League. Now, if you're just joining us and you're wondering about what are these numbers, what are these numbers down here?
Chair, Dan.
That's how I like it. It's the point values that you guys are assigning this week in chat. The only way you can participate is if you have a Twitch TV account and you type into the chat !karma, the name, as well as the point values. Now, I don't know how you guys have so many points so fast, because I think as soon as I said that, it was like 800 points were distributed immediately. But lots of people are having fun. Let us know your feedback. Tweet at NASL TV or tweet at Frodan. Let me know how the system's working if you guys like it. Cool, so we're done with it. WCS EU and WCS Korea. Let's talk about WCS America with MLG. Happening as we speak is the MLG qualifiers for WCS America. MLG took a much more condensed version of their European counterpart, as they hosted only one tournament where the top 8 qualify, as opposed to ESL's 4-tournament top 2 qualifier. Thankfully, the tournament is double elimination. However, the tournament has been mired by the overwhelming number of Koreans and other tournament logistic issues. The list could go on for a while. We'll be covering NA a little bit more next week after the dust has settled and we know what groups have been picked. But I want to ask you guys, what are some of the storylines that you've been following in these qualifiers, whether it be about the tournament themselves or about the players? We'll start with Ben. 5 minutes.
Storylines from the North American qualifier. My favorite one has to be the absence of North American players actually having any semblance of a hope at qualifying. Not a single non-Korean player made it through the winner's bracket. If we go down to the loser's bracket, we can see that the only North American player left is Drunken Boy. He's got to play against Hart and probably another Korean eventually. So it just doesn't look good for North American players. Honestly, I am so disappointed in the way that WCS North America is shaping up. This is a tournament that I was very excited for because I love cheering for my favorite North American players. I want to cheer for Scarlet and for Idra and for Gosu User and for Vibe and for Cats and for all of these guys. But instead, we were force-fed, by the way, some terrible non-region locked rules that open the floodgates for an influx of Korean players who have crushed our North American hopes and given us no chance of cheering for a hometown hero.
Well, there are some people invited, man.
There are some people invited. We have that to look forward to. So at least in the round of 32, we'll get to cheer for some North Americans. Beyond that, we've had hackers playing openly an event. That never happened with ESL, by the way, because they have a strict policy against hacking that catches you early and weeds you out long before you can ever get the chance to play in an important qualifier like something for WCS.
ESL is also really strict with that. Like, even there are guys who once upon a time when they were young, for instance, like cheated in a Counter-Strike match. 2 years later, don't even think that you can just play a StarCraft competition. You're still banned.
Doesn't work that way, man. So
impressive. I never heard
incredibly strict policy. That's why you didn't have that kind of a drama. You've had the issues that we have with the Chinese players, guys like the WCS China champion, not even allowed to participate in WCS North America or in WCS of any way because of administrative mistakes made by MLG. And honestly, at the end of the day, the biggest gripe I don't mean to be griping because you're asking me for storylines. There's some great games being played. The Muslim's playing some great StarCraft. I would love to see him qualify because he should have been invited in the first place. But the biggest gripe I have, hands down, bar none, is just the way this is presented. This is the premier event in North America. And what are we given? We're given no storylines. We're given no production value.
We got nice shots of traffic in New York.
We got traffic in New York. That's one thing.
And cloudy overcast?
But there's nothing, man. Give me a profile on some of these players. Give me some outtakes. Give me something. Make me laugh. Entertain me. Do something. This is the premier event in all of North America. And guys, this is the only event we're going to get in North America this year because WCS NA is going to overshadow everything else. And nothing. It's been dominated by Koreans. It's been poorly administered. There's a single qualifier for 500 people, half of which that signed up weren't even in Diamond League. And a lot of great players left out. And of course, the presentation was lackluster at best. I've been incredibly disappointed with the WCS North America event. It's not MLG's fault. MLG does events wonderfully. But online broadcasts, online tournaments, it's just not their forte. They've never been that good at it. Game Battles is the closest thing MLG has to it, and it's an automated online forum that allows you to challenge other teams to matches. It's just not there. I'm brutally disappointed, and I feel like there were other people that could have done a better job.
Yeah.
I think all the B-roll and stuff, or like the fun things in between games that you're referring to, because now at the end of the day, it's just like cast a game, all right, in commercial, cast a game, commercial, there's nothing else. It's mostly because I don't think they were even planning to cast this on forehand. I'm sure that once the actual tournament starts, like the online group stages.
That's right. They were planning to cast everything from replays. That could never go badly.
Yeah, no, that's not the point. But that's this is something else. That's why I think they were not that well prepared. I think when the actual group stages start, like when they actually start doing the real tournament, I think they will have a lot of cool stuff and all those things that you ask for. But that doesn't take away the fact that obviously those things that you pointed out in the qualifier, it's really painful. I think having only one qualifier is stupid for so many reasons. For instance, right now, Katz lost against this guy who may or may not be a hacker. He got disqualified after that, so I guess he is. But then, like, Katz's tournament is ruined. That's his only shot.
And so is everybody else that was in that guy's path. Same for Com. Com signs up, doesn't get in because why the WCS China champion?
We should clarify, by the way, like before we go too far into this, and we're going to extend the clock because this is actually a pretty big topic. Com is a Chinese player, is a WCS Chinese champion from last year, and he signed up for the tournament, but he didn't get in. But one of his friends did, who's also a pro gamer in China, and he played under his ID the entire tournament. It was his games, his hockeys, his replays.
And he was open about it.
And he was open about
it.
He
said, I am calm.
Yeah.
And I think that's all he said in English.
Right. Played through the entire tournament. Played through the entire tournament. Eliminated a lot of people. Losers bracket round 9. One round away from qualifying for WCS North America. 1 round away from proving, like he said in his post, that Chinese players are able to be competitive on the global stage. That was his goal when he set out, according to Com. And then they find then some MLG admin catches wind of it and says, "Yeah, you're disqualified."
Well, it's against their rules, and rules.
It's against their rules, and you have to uphold your rules. I get it, but you just crushed the integrity of everybody that was in his path. Okay. The whole tournament is compromised. It sucks.
Ben, you've been talking a lot. Kevin wants to say something.
I really don't think that they had to disqualify Com. Like, for instance, he was there on time to qualify, then something went wrong with the admin. That's a really big mistake. A couple of amazing guys, for instance. What the hell, guys? Jim Credible. We all want to see freaking Jim. This guy pretty much all killed Evil Genius alone, and now he doesn't even get a chance to play WCS. That was all horrible. But now focusing on this Com incident alone, he said from the very beginning that he was Com. I really don't see any point in disqualifying. How often don't we see Korean pros having like a silly nickname on North America? Like, I actually can't bring up any examples right now, but how often have we cast 2 Koreans when we know who they are, they just use a different account? What, like, if Com just signed up, like, for instance, the Muslim is called Evil Geniuses in the bracket. He was called Fruit Basket. Well, if he wants to be called Fruit Basket, who cares? Like, I really don't think that there was any way to any solid reason to disqualify him. Sure, if you really want to follow the rules, I believe some of the rules also say that if results are spoiled, the players can get banned. Well, if that's the case, then you can now ban half the bracket, basically, because
anybody that's shared their results with a friend is now. God, it's just the whole thing is a fiasco. 512-man bracket for the only single qualifier for North America. One of the most populous regions in all of StarCraft II. Not to mention the one that Koreans are all migrating to, that the Chinese are all migrating to, that the Taiwanese are all migrating to, that the Southeast Asians are all migrating to, because you get less lag in North America than you do in Europe. This is a huge flop. It's a huge flop. So it sucks, man. You have cut so many people out of having any chance at participating in the only major North American event for the year. It's just I'm really upset about it.
A couple things,
as you can probably tell.
And you got, as the chat probably agrees, as you got massive points on that. Again, type in
yay points, yay points.
Yes, because that'll make Ben feel a lot better about this qualifier. I do want to bring up a couple counterpoints though, and I'm playing devil's advocate here. MLG is on limited time because obviously they don't want to be doing WCS, EU, and NA simultaneously. Is this more of a timetable that Blizzard gave to the organizers, and MLG had to do what they had to do? Because obviously they would like to have multiple qualifiers. Is this so much on MLG, or is this just kind of circumstance of the overarching WCS?
I don't know who it's on, Dan, but the fact remains, if you just sit here and you say, whatever, then there's no reason for anyone to make a change. So people have got to get loud. People have got to get pissed off. People have got to say, this is not okay. These changes have to be made, because otherwise it just continues. It's a cycle of crap, and you continue, crushing the chances of talented players. And
I heard a little Stefano in there. This is quap.
So I mean, I could be overzealous, and I'm sorry, Kevin. I don't mean to. I'm just a little steamed right now, and I'm probably yelling too much, and I'm probably pissing off people that I shouldn't be pissing off. But somebody has got to stand up and say, guys, get your acts together and do it right next time. Otherwise, it's not going to happen.
They can do it.
Because
right?
they can. MLG is one of the best organizations for esports in the world. They're awesome.
I completely agree.
They do great events, but they have not done this qualifier correctly.
Kev, do you have any last words about this whole MLG thing? Maybe
No,
talk about
I
the
pretty
qualifiers
much,
themselves?
obviously Ben has pretty much said it all. Once more, I think the fact, like, it was obvious that some things were going to go wrong. There's nothing wrong about that because it's hard to host these kind of, or the tournament on this scale properly, certainly when it's the very first time. But the fact that it's only one qualifier is still the biggest flaw out of all of them. We have sort of a corrupted grid now where players who shouldn't have been eliminating people have been eliminating people. Just one shot, a couple of people getting excluded, not having a single chance right now. These Chinese guys are so freaking good. If you read the post, it's actually really like sort of making you emotional. If you just imagine like the way that they described it, they were all sitting there, staying awake, all super ready to qualify. Like they've been training on NA server. They've been dominating as well, and then they don't even get the chance to play. Like if I was one of those players, that would be so extremely demotivating.
Especially
really
after
saddening.
WCS finals.
That's the
were
kind
in
of thing
China.
that ends
Too hard,
careers,
dude.
man.
It is really saddening to think about. Like it almost like
You prepare for months for something like that, and then you just say, you know what, this isn't for me. I'm going to do something else. Like
Well,
that kind of stuff happens, man, and it's just.
I hope it doesn't happen for sure.
it is.
Regardless of what happened, at least we know the Chinese can play. Yes, the Chinese can play.
I really hope, like, and I know this is like
We're
unreasonable.
about done, so make
I
it
know,
quick.
but like the last thing, I really hope that still somehow we are gonna get something in the Chinese scene, and I really don't care who is in charge of it or who hosts it, but those guys, they are freaking good. Like Maxet and Jim, they are absolutely dominating NA. They have the same stats as Bolt, and they are playing from China. Like, if you can even
That doesn't make sense.
I can't even emphasize on how bad that connection must be. It's an absolute miracle.
Dude
They're
has
able
to
pull
cast
it
force
off.
field 2 seconds in advance.
Those guys, they must be so freaking good if they can do that. And now we are still not able to see them at all. This is not just MLG's fault. I really hope that we get something in China, that there is going to be a premier StarCraft II League in China, because we deserve it, those players deserve it, and the fans deserve it out there. And we need a good StarCraft Chinese
That's the
scene.
mandate of WCS, to bring out local heroes. I completely agree. Regardless, you guys should be paying attention to WCS. And there's still lots of great players, lots of great storylines. There are people invited to it. The qualifier broadcast will continue this week. For all information, head over to MajorLeagueGaming.com. Let's take a quick break and get ready for our next section where we're going to talk about things like DreamHack and news around StarCraft II. You're watching the Sunday Pulse. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.